More on coping with airline tragedies. Joining us from the U.S. state of Massachusetts is Gary Kay. He is the co-editor of Aeromedical Psychology and a clinical associate professor of neurology at Georgetown University. Welcome to the program, Gary.
Thank you.
There are reports that
Appreciate
Andreas Lupitz and his fiance recently broke up and that he suffered depression and at one point recently took a leave of absence from training. What are the warning signs that someone could be relapsing? And if he was still depressed, how was he able to function daily and hide this from those closely surrounding him?
Well, depression is actually a condition which would disqualify a pilot for being in the cockpit. Depression, which is under control, which is being treated, and which can be monitored, is something which we can allow a pilot to be in the cockpit. But in this case, it doesn't appear that his employer knew about the severity of his condition. News came out today that he had made comments to the girlfriend that he would do things that would make him someday famous, well-known name. That's a frightening kind of thing. You would hope that if that kind of statement is made to family, friends, co-workers, that they actually do notify an employer or notify the Civil Aviation Authority so something can be done.
Gary, tell us how it works with a patient and follow-up treatments and what kind of maintenance plan he might have been under.
So if this was in the U.S., what would occur is that once a pilot would begin treatment for depression, would indicate they would be kind of grounded. They would not have a valid certificate till they've been under treatment for a period of 1 year at a stable dose with their antidepressant treatment. And then at the end of that, they would actually submit the records from their treating a psychologist or psychiatrist or counselor, as well as letters from the person prescribing the medication, and they would be required to undergo a battery of psychological tests, including the test that we use called COG screen, which can measure their attention, concentration, and ability to kind of problem solve, as well as screening for their personality state. And that evaluation, together with a report from a psychiatrist, would go to a specialized aviation medical examiner. And then that person would continue to have to update this on an annual basis. It could be even as frequent as every 6 months. So there's a very good program of monitoring, returning a formerly depressed pilot back to the cockpit.
So even if Germany's standards are not in line or as strict as the U.S., it's clear that he might have fallen through the cracks here.
If, that's something which we try to avoid. We don't want this failure to report or to go underground with treatment or to seek treatment and not inform an employer. These are all things which we try to avoid by making a program like the one I described not punitive. The same thing for substance abuse in pilots. We want them to come forward to get treatment and be able to return them to the cockpit.
Gary Kay, thank you so much for your time and insight, shedding some light on what this co-pilot was experiencing.